late 2019, just before the holiday season, Kylie Jenner decided she needed a break from the chaos of Los Angeles. She was fresh off a long run of brand events, social media campaigns, and family drama that constantly put her under the public eye. Her solution: a secluded getaway with just a handful of close friends, somewhere far from paparazzi, far from traffic, far from the noise of the city. Through a private luxury rental agency, she booked a massive, ultra-modern desert mansion outside Palm Springs. It sat in the middle of barren land, miles of empty desert in every direction. From the pictures, it looked like something out of a high-end architecture magazine. Sleek glass walls, sprawling open spaces, a glittering infinity pool, and panoramic views of the endless desert. When Kylie and her small group arrived, the sun was just starting to set, casting orange and purple light across the sand. The air was silent except for the occasional wind that swept across the property. It felt peaceful, almost too peaceful. Security was minimal. Just one personal guard stationed at the gate. Kylie wanted privacy more than anything. The whole point was to escape the feeling of being watched. That night, after dinner, they all gathered by the pool. The water reflected the moonlight, and the desert around them seemed like another world. They talked, laughed, and listened to music, until Kylie noticed something strange. In the far corner of the house, beyond the glass walls, she saw a light flicker. At first, she thought it might be the pool, lights catching the reflection of something. But then it happened again. Quick, unnatural, like an overhead bulb turning on and off. She pointed it out, and one of her friends, a tall guy named Chris, offered to check it out. He disappeared into the house while the rest of them stayed outside. When Chris came back, he looked puzzled. "There's nothing," he said. "No lights on at all. The place is pitch dark." They shrugged it off, assuming maybe Kylie was just seeing things in the reflection. But moments later, the huge glass sliding doors behind them began to creak open, on their own. Everyone froze. The desert wind wasn't strong enough to move those heavy doors, and if someone had tried to open them from inside, they would have seen it instantly. But the opening was slow, deliberate, like someone was sliding them just enough to step through. Kylie's security guard was nowhere nearby. He was still at the front gate, hundreds of feet away. Trying to laugh it off, Kylie joked about ghosts and told her friends it was probably just a draft. But then, one of the girls noticed something that made her blood run cold. There were wet footprints on the marble floor just inside the open door. They were bare footprints, human, and the toes pointed into the house, leading toward the main hallway. None of them had been inside for the last 2 hours, and everyone's feet were dry. Chris rushed in to follow the prints, but halfway down the hall, they just stopped, as if whoever left them had simply vanished. The group tried to shake it off, but Kylie's nerves were on edge for the rest of the night. She kept glancing at the glass walls, half expecting to see someone standing outside. At around 3 a.m., Kylie woke up in her room. The moonlight poured through the glass wall, and everything was silent until she heard it. A whisper. It was faint, muffled, almost impossible to make out, but she swore she heard her own name. Kylie. She thought maybe it was her friend in the room next door, so she called out, but no answer. The whisper came again, this time from right outside her bedroom door. Her heart started pounding. She reached for her phone, ready to call security, when she noticed something in the reflection of the glass, the outline of a figure standing behind her. She whipped around. Nothing. The next morning, security did a full sweep of the property. No broken locks, no signs of forced entry. But at the top of the stairs leading toward Kylie's room, there was a single wet footprint. That was the last night they stayed in the desert mansion. Kylie never booked a getaway there again, and she has never spoken publicly about what happened. Some of her friends believe it was just a trespasser who somehow slipped past security. Others think it was something much worse, something that wasn't human. It was a warm Thursday night in early September, and Kylie had just finished putting Stormy to bed. The house was unusually quiet. Her Hidden Hills mansion was big enough that even the hum of the air conditioning seemed distant in some rooms. She had a late-night Zoom call scheduled with her team about an upcoming product launch. Instead of taking it in her office, she decided to sit in her glass room, a sunroom extension with floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked her backyard and pool. At night, the space looked like a glowing cube from the outside, surrounded by darkness. At 10:17 p.m., she joined the meeting. The soft pool lights shimmered outside, casting pale reflections across the glass walls. She kept one AirPod in and sipped from a cup of chamomile tea, while half listening to the marketing updates. Halfway through the call, she caught a faint movement outside. Just a quick blur at the edge of her vision. She told herself it was nothing. Maybe one of the motion lights had been triggered by a rabbit. But a few minutes later, she saw it again, a shifting shadow between the hedges near the pool. Her pulse quickened. She adjusted her laptop camera so she could subtly glance over her shoulder without looking too obvious to her team. The figure was gone. The call dragged on for another 20 minutes. When it finally ended, Kylie set her laptop down and walked to the sliding glass door, peering outside. The air was warm and still. No wind, no sound, except for the faint hum of the pool filter. She turned to go back inside when her phone buzzed with a notification. Backyard motion detected. Camera 4. Kylie quickly opened her security app. The camera feed loaded slowly, the little spinning wheel feeling like forever. And then, there it was. A tall figure, entirely in black, standing just beyond the pool lights, facing the glass room, not moving, not walking, just watching. She zoomed in. The person had a hood pulled low over their face, but even through the grainy image, she could see pale skin beneath it. Their arms hung unnaturally still at their sides. Kylie's stomach tightened. She pressed the intercom button that went directly to her on-site security. "Someone's in the backyard. Check it now." Her head of security, Derek, replied instantly. "I'm on it. Stay inside. Lock the doors." She slid the glass door lock into place and stepped back. The figure on the camera still hadn't moved. 1 minute passed, then 2. The camera feed flickered. Suddenly, the figure was gone. Derek's voice came through again. "Backyard's clear. No one's here." She felt a wave of frustration. "Check the tapes," she told him. "I saw someone." She ended the call and went to check on Stormy, who was still asleep, her soft breathing a small comfort in the uneasy stillness. Kylie returned to the glass room to grab her laptop, but froze in the doorway. There, on the outside of the glass wall, was a perfect handprint. Long fingers, smudged against the pane, the faint outline of moisture still fresh enough to catch the light. Her phone buzzed again. Backyard motion detected. Camera 4. Kylie didn't want to look, but she did. The feed showed the figure again. Closer now, almost at the edge of the glass room. This time, the hood was pushed back just enough to reveal part of the face. A man's face, pale and expressionless, eyes locked directly on the camera. She felt a rush of panic and bolted toward her panic room. The glass walls of the sunroom gave her the horrible feeling that he could see her no matter where she went. She was halfway down the hall when she heard it. 3 slow knocks on the glass, echoing through the quiet house. Her phone buzzed yet again. This time, no motion alert, just a text from an unknown number. "Why did you leave? I just wanted to talk." Her hands trembled as she read it. She knew she'd never given her number out to strangers. When Derek and the rest of the security team swept the property a second time, they found nothing. No footprints, no signs of forced entry, and the handprint had somehow disappeared, as though it was never there. But later that night, as Kylie tried to sleep, her phone lit up on the nightstand. Another message from the same number. "I can still see you." She moved out of that house for almost 2 months after the incident. The police could never confirm how the man had gotten in or how he vanished so quickly without triggering more alarms. But Kylie swears she can still hear the sound of those 3 slow knocks in her head whenever she walks past a glass wall at night.